Fortnite just announced that we're getting totally brand new sprites next season, and that sprites are sticking around forever with the brand new Sprite Garden. I'm going to go over all of the latest new info, and I'll show you all 5 of the Design-a-Sprite winners. First things first, I want to show you that I have every single sprite in Fortnite. That is right, all 117 of them. The only thing left for me to do is master them. I'm curious, how many sprites do you have? Let me know in the comment section. They're not adding any more sprites this season. The 117 sprites, that's all we're getting for this season. Sprites are here to stay, and they actually announced some really cool stuff with it. Fortnite officially announced that sprites are coming back in the next season of Battle Royale, which is called Override. They said the new season of Fortnite will introduce a whole new generation of sprites to collect and master, including new powers and variants, quality of life improvements based on your feedback, and the new ways to discover sprites in and out of your games. When they say new quality of life improvements, that could mean being able to see your sprite collection while you're in game and seeing which sprites you have or don't have, especially when we have over 100 of them right now. The next season will introduce a whole new generation of sprites, so all the sprites that we currently have are not going to be the main generation next season. They're going to be a whole new batch of them. That's really exciting and super ambitious. We're also getting new powers and variants, which should make next season feel really fresh. Next season is going to be a Gaming Legends themed season. We're talking Sonic the Hedgehog, Mega Man, Pac-Man, Kingdom Hearts, and more. I'm going to make a whole video covering everything about the new season, but you can definitely expect Gaming Legends to be a major focus. Fortnite also mentioned that there are going to be new ways to discover sprites in and out of your games. What does that mean? I think we already saw a preview of that in Reload, where that was the only way you could get the John Wick sprite. I think they're going to use that concept again, potentially in other game modes or even creative maps. Anything is possible. Probably the number one question on everybody's mind is, what happens to our sprites this season? Are they going to carry over to the next season? What's going to happen to the collection that we've worked so hard on? Everybody has worked pretty hard on their sprite collections, and we want to see something come from it. Pokemon as the Pokédex. What is Fortnite going to do? Fortnite says sprites you've collected in Season 3 will be immortalized, which means they'll stay forever in the new Sprite Garden. It looks like the Sprite Garden is going to be a brand new area or experience in Fortnite. Who doesn't like gardens and gardens full of sprites? That sounds awesome. The new Sprite Garden is an island getaway where you can play with your sprites, visit friends' garden sanctuaries, and showcase your entire collection. As you gather sprites in Season 4, they're immediately added to your garden too. Your Season 3 sprites will live on in this new garden. They're also going to live on an unlockable styles in the Sprite Mystery Pod Back Bling, pilots in the garden outfit. They're also going to live on as unlockable styles in the Sprite Mastery Pod Back Bling, pilots in the Guardian outfit, and they'll stay on your sprite collection page alongside the new generation. That is really cool. It's giving me that Pokemon vibe. Fortnite held the Design-a-Sprite contest, and they've received over 20,000 submissions. They said they were going to pick 5 winners, and now we know who those winners are and which sprites are going to be released next season. They mentioned that these will arrive around mid-season, so don't expect them immediately. First up, we have the Bullet Sprite by Enoral. It looks like a bullet turned into a sprite. The design is really cool. The ability suggested by the artist is that ammo boxes grant slightly more ammunition. The actual effects that the sprites could change before release. Next up, we have the Honey Sprite. This one looks really cool and definitely gives me Starter Sprite vibes like the water, earth, fire, and air sprites. The suggested ability is that when a nearby enemy damages you, a beehive quickly emerges and releases a swarm of bees towards the attacker. The bees briefly pursue the target and deal light damage over time before dispersing. After triggering the ability, it enters a short cooldown before it can activate again. They might actually use an ability like this because it doesn't sound too overpowered. The design is so good. Great choice. Next up, we have the Pawn Sprite. This one's really cool because it evolves. I'm getting some Pokemon vibes here. At level 1 and 2, it's an egg form. From levels 3 to 4, it becomes a full tadpole. And at level 5, the max level, it turns into a full-on frog. I'm hoping Fortnite actually uses the evolution idea because that would be really cool. The proposed ability increases your speed in water with every stage, and at level 5 gives increased jump height and fall damage reduction. This is probably my favorite because of the evolution. Next up, we have the Dumpster Dive Sprite. Honestly, it's basically a baby raccoon, but I love it. The effect is really original. Gather loot from jumping into dumpsters. I could see this being one step above a starter sprite. The raccoon looks adorable, and the effect fits the design perfectly. The last one is the X-Ray Sprite created by Brady. He showed the concept on TikTok. It went viral, and a lot of people supported him. The X-Ray Sprite's proposed ability lets you see players through walls and other objects. That's actually a good effect. Maybe it happens every 30 seconds or something similar, and the cool cooldown becomes shorter as you level it up. The sprite also has the same glasses as its creators, which is a really cool touch. Let me know, out of all the 5 Design-a-Sprite winners, which one is your favorite? Let me know, out of all the 5 Design-a-Sprite winners, which one is your favorite? There's a lot of actual information about the Sprite Garden. It's an island getaway where you can play with your sprites, visit friends, garden sanctuaries, and showcase your entire collection. As you gather sprites in Season 4, they're immediately added to your garden. Your Season 3 sprites will live on in the new garden. They'll also live on unlockable styles in the Sprite Mastery Pod Back Bling, pilots in the Guardian outfit, and remain on your Sprite collection page alongside the new generation. Sprites have been extremely popular in Fortnite, and to me, they really revitalized Battle Royale. This is very interesting. Fortnite said that sprites from past generations may return down the line, offering another chance to add them to your roster and use them in Battle Royale again. That means the sprites from the season could eventually return. They don't say when, but they could come back. That makes collecting and mastering them during their original season more worthwhile because you don't know when they'll be available again. So start mastering those sprites. Time is of the essence. Fortnite finishes its message by saying that the Season 4 Sprite generation also includes the 5 Design-a-Sprite contest winners arriving in mid-season updates. The contest received over 20,000 Sprite design submissions. How they managed to pick only 5 is insane, but we ended up getting some really cool winners. I don't think Epic is necessarily going to keep every ability suggested by the contest winners because some aren't powerful enough or are similar to abilities we've already had. Epic may rework those abilities before release, but I love that they did this contest and there were a lot of great submissions, even ones that didn't win. What's interesting is that we could still be getting a Spider-Man sprite. There were a bunch of leaks throughout July about a Spider-Man sprite, but it was never released during this season. People think it could either be released next season or it may have been scrapped entirely. We'll have to wait and see, but a Spider-Man sprite would be awesome. Epic also said to be on the lookout for announcements about boosted drop rate days, surprise power hours, and new quests to round out your collection for the rest of the season. Hopefully there'll be more ways for players to finish their sprite collections more easily before the season ends. The new season comes out on August 20th and the next OG season and Lego Pass will come out on September 2nd. There are a lot of things happening very soon. I mentioned a lot of reasons why I love sprites. I'm really excited that Fortnite is keeping them in the game. I think sprites added life back into Battle Royale by giving players more objectives. They're great for casual players because some of the effects can be really powerful. There are also huge crossover potential. We've already seen crossover sprites and there's the possibility to create a sprite based on basically anything. There are some downsides. Finding and extracting sprites can be stressful and it adds another objective to Battle Royale that some players might not want. I've seen some people complain about sprites, so I want to know your thoughts. Are sprites a good thing or a bad thing for Fortnite? Let me know in the comments. So yeah, sprites are officially here to stay, and honestly, I'm excited to see what Fortnite does with them next season. With the new Sprite Garden, a whole new generation of sprites, and even more collaborations coming. This could be just the beginning, but I want to know what you think. Are sprites good for Fortnite? And which new sprite do you want to see? Let me know in the comments. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more Fortnite updates, and I'll see you guys in the next one.